I gotta do this really quickly. That didn't work. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. As you guys can tell, it's snowing out. I'm standing out on a lake right now. Definitely loving this. Out filming of another video for my other channel. Still camping. As you guys can see, we got Steven here taking a break. Boomer is here. He's in, I don't know if you guys can make out the Jeep way back there in the woods. I've got the Jeep and the rooftop tent, the diesel heater running right now. And yeah, I'm just taking a break right now out here sitting on this frozen lake. There is like 1.5 feet of snow that I had to dig down just to get my chair down to sit. Check this out. All right, so coming over here, the ice is yeah, down there a little ways, and I've kicked a lot of snow off and out of the area, trying to make myself a little spot for my feet so I can really put the chair down in there. All right, cup of coffee right there. Oh yeah. And this is the view. So, just chilling out. Actually quite the opposite. Not chilling out, warming up. You guys will notice the gigantic jacket that I'm wearing. Let's talk about that. So, good friends over at Fjallraven. A little bit of a story behind this, but good friends at Fjallraven came through and helped me out again. So if you guys remember, back in the summer, I was looking for a really durable backpack. I wanted something that was discreet, streamlined. The Keb pack from Fjallraven was right up my alley. Went in there, met the manager, talked to them. He said, you know what? Let us give you the backpack. You know, you come in the store, film a little bit, have fun with it. Take the backpack, use it, have fun. I hope it helps you out. Totally blown away by that generosity. Absolutely appreciative. That is my favorite backpack. I use it all the time still. Extremely durable. So I purchased Fjallraven gear, my own money. Pants, toque, I have a sweater. So I do buy the brand, just not the really expensive things because I personally cannot afford it. So a little bit of a story. I ended up tearing 2 of my down jackets, totally torn up. I got stuck in the van. You guys saw that video. Getting unstuck, just ripped. My green jacket that I'm wearing, my outdoor research green down jacket you guys always see me wear, there's like 7 holes that I've had to stitch up, and one of them still just leaking down feathers everywhere. So gone through a lot of jackets, and I decided I really wanted something durable, really thick, really warm, something that I could throw on the ground and lay on top of, something that I can trudge through the woods, jack pine, spruce. It's not going to rip the jacket open. So I said, you know what? Why don't I reach out to Fjallraven again and see if they have anything? And they came through, way surpassed my expectations. I've literally got the best of the best of the best. This is the Fjallraven Singy Parka. Absolutely incredible, down-filled, super durable, gigantic customizable hood. Beautiful Fjallraven leather toggles here so you can operate with your gloves everywhere's around this thing. Adjustability everywhere. This parka, incredible. So thank you very much to Fjallraven for helping me out and the channel. Massively appreciated. I've been in love with this thing. I've been wearing it at home. I've been wearing it in the Jeep like giant State Puff Marshmallow Man. Coming out here right now, I'm warm. I'm totally warm. And last night, I wore it outside. I was wearing nothing but a pair of thin sweatpants and a t-shirt. Not even a toque. And I was outside for about 15 minutes. Couldn't feel any cold. Any cold. This thing, awesome. And it's the G1000 material, just like the pants. You can wax it to waterproof it. Pretty awesome. So, any questions about what jacket is that? The Fjallraven Singy Parka. Check it out. Highly, highly recommend it. And a huge thank you to Fjallraven for helping me, supporting me in need. Damaged 2 very expensive jackets. I was a little frustrated. And yeah, they came through. They came through in a really good way. So, thank you very much. Now I can actually sit out here and enjoy. And I can go near campfires. I got a down jacket that I can go near campfires. I can do all the rough, tough stuff because it's G1000 material. It's super tough, just like my pants. So I'm very happy about that. I don't have to worry about embers or sparks or any of that silly nonsense anymore. So, I'm gonna take a break now and enjoy. Enjoy the silence of winter. Super fine snow right now. This lake is just silent. Beautiful. So, just sitting here scared the crap out of me. I just heard something way back by the Jeep. The whole top of the rooftop tent. Try to put my coffee in the snow. The whole top of the rooftop tent was just crusted in like 4 inches of solid ice. It just melted and slid down and smashed all over the hood. Let's go take a look. Super deep snow. Boomer's probably up in the tent thinking, what was that? That definitely woke him up. I'll come all the way up here. Oh yeah, all over the hood. Let's put this coffee cup over here. While I'm up here, I might as well give you guys the rundown. Jeep table diesel heater is on, and it's on speed 5, so it's almost on max. And the reason why is primarily that, and that big chunk up there is still moving very, very slowly. Luckily my windshield's already cracked, so I don't have to worry about that. No, the angle that the snow comes off, it actually hits the light bar on the top, and then it comes down on the windshield. Jeep windshields are pretty much vertical. I mean, pretty close, right? So it would come off that, the light bar would be the protector, and then it would land literally, I mean, right where it did, but pretty much on the wipers. And that is that's some thick ice, right? Like ice, sugar, snow. So yeah, it was pretty loud. Out on the lake and heard a loud crash behind me. But try and get some of this cleaned off right now. Not that it matters, but if it does turn to rain, like the forecast is saying, that ice will basically turn into massive ice And I'll have to sit there and chip it off the wiper blades if I want them to work, so. That should be good enough. So, yeah. Beautiful out here. Beautiful, but it is forecasted to get warmer. And looking at the snow, it's starting to look a little soupy. So I'm not sure if the temperature is going to come up right now or in a little bit later. Oh, one interesting thing I just totally clued into. These limb risers here, these have very, very, very sharp edges. I made these. Normally, speaking about jacket, normally I'd be really cautious about that with my down jacket ripping the sleeve like I've done 100 times. Just instinctively just clued in. I wasn't worried about it because I don't need to be anymore. So cool. Awesome. Yeah, that tent is dripping like crazy. Super hot up there. I'll give you guys a peek up in there, and then I'm going to get filming on my other channel again because it is getting late in the afternoon. I do need to collect some firewood and, well, get everything ready for this evening and supper. But I'll give you a quick look up top and we'll check on Boomer. All right, so again, I have not mounted the ladder with the factory hooks here. I haven't mounted it to the Jeep. I don't know if you guys caught that episode a while back. I mentioned the angle where they hook onto right here, if you can make that out. The angle that the ladder comes down actually hits my rack. So it doesn't allow the ladder to go down to the ground because the Jeep is so high. So what I'm gonna have to do is take that one right there off and that one off and drill holes and relocate them here so the ladder will hook on here. It's not a big deal because I usually stand on the tire and then use the actual ladder on the Jeep to get up, but it will help this little first step of getting up. So what I've been doing is just putting it down there, and then I just kind of step there, stand on the tire, and then all the way up. So see how Boomer's doing. Climb up here, standing on the tire right now. A couple zippers here. Hello. You awake? Oh, it's warm up here. How's the sleeping bag situation, huh? Still wet. Still wet. Look at that. I don't know how well that's picking up on camera. Wet, dry. The sleeping bag. The sleeping bag. Boomer, you're kind of in the way, man. The sleeping bag was left up in the rooftop tent. I mentioned that in a previous video. Hi. Yes, he's got a new jacket too. I mentioned that in a previous video that I leave the sleeping bag up here. I don't know what happened. The tent didn't leak. I think it was just moisture and condensation because we did have a few warm days and this is black. It would have heated up and then kind of put some moisture. Whatever. I don't know what happened. But either way, the sleeping bag got wet and then it froze. So when I came up here earlier, and that's the reason why the diesel heater's on right now, my sleeping bag's soaked. It was frozen like a piece of plywood. Do you want to come out? Well, hold on, I'll help you down. Hold on. So I'm thawing it out right now using the diesel heater, and that's the reason why it's on and the zipper of the door is shut. To get any moisture and sleeping bag dry. I do have another sleeping bag with me. Come on. Come on. Can I get you up by your jacket? There you go. Okay. Oh. Big step. Oh. All right, go. Can't do that with a big dog. Yeah, so I do have another sleeping bag, but I really want to use that one up there. So I'm going to basically cook it dry. I've got a fair bit of diesel fuel. The temperatures is supposed to go up tonight, but then it's supposed to go back down to freezing. So you guys can see all kinds of icicles. That's how cold it is. In here, I probably have like maybe a smidge of diesel. Coming over to the actual heater. I'm at almost a halfway mark right now. I'm going to shut it off very soon and then dry that bag out later on. I do have another sleeping bag, a very, very warm downfill sleeping bag, minus 30, in the back of the Jeep right now. So if that's not dry later on, I'm going to grab that, throw it up there, and sleep with that tonight, and then just let everything dry out overnight, I guess, is the way to do it. But yeah, snow is still coming down. It's supposed to change the rain later on and warm up and then go right back to frigid -13. So we'll see. But I got to get some firewood, wrap up a few things here, and yeah, carry on with the video. Where you going? Huh? Don't you bite my pants. Come on. Oh, you fell on your face. You just fell on his face. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Let's have a sit down here for a minute. Oh, I don't know how well that picked up on camera. Come on. But he face planted. Did you face plant in the snow? Yeah? He ate it. He ate it hard. How's your face? Huh? Looks a little snowy. Yeah? Oh yeah. Put your hood on there, bud. Winter. Winter Wonderland. He's loving it. There he goes for some more. Hi. Hi. What are you doing? Does it taste good? All right, guys, well, I had to do it. I had to take it off. That thing is awesome. Way too hot to wear right now, collecting all this firewood. That Jeep door shut. So I'm back in my my down jacket after using this bad boy. This is the Pro Yama PCS26. It is a 12-inch, 2-stroke chainsaw. That thing is incredible. Super portable, super tiny, super lightweight. Makes firewood very, very, very quick. That took like 2 minutes. So what I'm doing right now, I just got the fire lay prepped up there. Firewood's getting covered in snow very, very quickly. As you guys can tell, it is coming down. I mean, let's go take a look at the lake really quick. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this kind of came out of nowhere. It's like a light switch. My tracks are slowly starting to get filled in here, even out on the lake. It's crazy. Weather just comes in out of nowhere, and this is why I'm always adamant on getting things done when it needs to be done, not when you feel like it. Get it done, that way when things go bad, you got firewood ready. So, check this out. So it's letting up a tiny, tiny bit. You see a very faint tree line right there, actually leading into almost nothing out there. It is really coming down. This is incredible. I love this. And I'm lucky to have a fresh running water stream that goes right through the trees there, literally almost right in front of the Jeep. I can hear that from inside of the Jeep, believe it or not, which is awesome. I've camped here before with the Jeep in the summer and in the fall, and even with a hot tent here, so I knew this location was going to be good. And being the first outing with the Jeep since it got fixed, I figured I better play it safe and go somewheres not local. It is still very remote, but at least it's somewheres where I know I am, and I know I have very, very, very spotty cell phone service, but it is there in a pinch. So I've got to get all of this prepped, and yeah, fire lay is getting ready. going to be in the open tonight, so I'll be putting my parka back on for sure. Parking my butt right there, the chair. Enjoy the fire until it's time to climb back up. You guys can see, like, everything's just getting covered in snow super fast. It's definitely accumulating, and it's a lot deeper out here than I thought it was. Even my chair, camera, everything back here. And it's still cold, guys. I mean, these icicles are still forming. Still holding on there. Very, very cold. But this view out the top of the tent, looking out the side, is going to be incredible come morning time. Beautiful. Even if I got up there and rolled this panel all the way up, I could look out this way into the forest and have all that view underneath that awning, and no snow would be bothering me from inside. So it's going to be time to get the axe out of the back, split that, and yeah, get a lot of this work done. The work never stops. So I'll put you guys back inside the Jeep, keep you nice and warm while I'm out here. I'll catch up with you guys in, well, probably 1 second. All right, guys, so supper is just about cooked. Man, this hail is coming down like crazy. It is frigid, freezing cold, freezing rain, ice pellets like crazy. The campfire's going really, really nice. The winds are picking up. Like, trees are just blowing all over the place. It's a wild one out here, I will say that. Snow blowing all over out of the trees. Yeah, it's definitely cold. So, give you guys a look here. Coming into the pan, I've got some of this seasoned pork. Trangia is fired up right now. I've got the other GSI pan upside down, using that as a lid. So that is almost done. I then brought a product I've never had before. This is firm ripened cheese with truffle. So these were on clearance today. I ended up getting 2 for $5, which I think that's a steal of a deal. It smells incredible. I haven't tasted it yet, but I do have that. I also have some spinach, some rotis, some bruschetta, and some cilantro cream sauce to go on top, and a total mess of a Jeep. So that is what supper's gonna look like. Coming over here to the campfire, I've already tossed on some of those more punky logs, and they're actually burning really, really nice. All of this stuff right here standing upright, and that stuff laying down, is bone dry. This stuff is a little punky, so I'm just kind of alternating between some of this punky stuff and the really, really bone dry stuff. Got that next to the fire soaking in the heat. Got my chair, which keeps filling up with all these ice pellets as quick as I could basically run over to the Jeep and come back. You guys can see the lens fogging up there from the fire. That's how hot that is right there. I got my brew down in my Yeti. This thing is incredible, by the way, guys. I found this at a sports check. Let's get away from the fire so we're not fogging the lens. I found this Yeti at a sports check or an Atmosphere. I can't remember, but it had a dent in it. I don't know where it is. Right there. That tiny, tiny, tiny little dent. Clear that off with my finger. That's it. And they charged me $5 for that. I mean, they're like $35, $40, right? So it's a tall boy koozie. The reason why I love that is because it stops my cans from freezing on nasty cold winter days like this. So that'll stay there, not frozen. I gotta warm my hand for a minute. It is freezing. Whew. My down jacket is totally soaked. You guys can see right there, like the arm is just soaked. Still holding in the heat though. Moving around with the big parka on, my Fjallraven, is it's a little cumbersome right now in the Jeep. Like, it's really close quarters, so trying to cook and move and not get food and stuff stained all over my jacket, because I don't want that jacket ruined. It's a little cumbersome, but I am very excited to put it back on as soon as supper's ready, or as soon as I'm done eating, I should say, because I need that jacket back on. It is cold out. All right, so there we go. We got all that seasoned pork in there cooking down. I tossed in some white onions. Well, it's gonna be so good. So good. So we'll give that another minute, I think, and that should be nice and hot to go in the rotis. This GSI pan, by the way, if you guys are wondering, this is the Trangia 27, I believe. The GSI pan, you'll notice that it's right on the lip to that clasp and that clasp. If you guys can make that out, those are the pot stands for a large Trangia pan. I know it's really hard for you guys to see with all the steam, but this pan fits perfectly. Like perfect. Upside down lid. It doesn't fit on the back side, but the two in the front, if you lock those in and then pull the handle towards you like that, it locks in perfect. I could put my roti on top of there and warm one up, which is probably not a bad idea. Slap one of these on top. That'll soak in the heat from the pan. It'll be ready to go with some bruschetta, some cheese, and some of that cream sauce. And then over to Mr. Campfire, soak that in. It is crazy, crazy. Like, look at the awning. The awning is just like sagging with all that ice pellets up there. So I really got to unzip that door, whack that off. The lake is just total like ice pellet city out there. Awesome. Really, really enjoying this. It's so cold that like the steam is freezing the tire. Icicles just coming off, and all these massive icicles underneath the Jeep since we parked. Since we parked here, that is the liquid that is melted off of the tent, and it ran down the Jeep, dripping off of the tent all the way down and froze. That's how cold it is out here. So definitely want to get next to that campfire. We'll get Boomer out in a little bit. He'll have his food, and yeah, hopefully enjoy that campfire a little bit. Can't see me, right? Camouflage poncho, camouflage gloves, heat from fire fogging up camera lens. That's how hot that is. Smoke in my face. Okay. Boomer was out for a while, ate, did his thing. He's back up in the tent. It is freezing cold. The temperature has not gone up. Absolutely bitter cold. It is still this freezing rain ice pellet stuff. I've decided to put my poncho on because I realized that if I put my parka on and sit next to the fire, the parka's fine, but the fur around the hood will melt. It'll singe. I don't want that to happen. So I've decided not to wear it and sacrifice a couple burn holes, if I get any burn holes, in a poncho rather than melt the fur to my nice new jacket. So it is windy, like crazy windy. It's just like, you guys can tell those trees up there. I got it on super wide right now, so it's hard to tell. But it's really, really blowing quite a bit. The smoke is all over the place. The Jeep is just completely covered in ice, snow. Take a look at this. So you guys will remember earlier when I cleaned all that stuff off the hood, well, and the tent, this stuff is just accumulating, and it's like sugar. It's like granulated sugar. So probably the most difficult stuff to drive in. So depending on what happens tonight, tomorrow should be a really fun time actually. 4-wheel drive and crawl out of here. But that window worked really great without having to have the 270 awning out. Can't put it out right now because it's frozen, so I can't open it, unfortunately. But the glass window and the awning on the tent together actually worked really, really well. Like you guys can see, there's quite a bit of room. I do need to give that a tap because that's very, very heavy with a lot of ice pellets. So I do want to get the weight off of that. It won't really damage it, but what it'll do is you'll notice the corner of the tent is losing a little bit of tension because the weight of that is actually slowly shutting the tent. It's one thing with these tents is you do have to keep them cleared off, at least the awning, otherwise the actuator won't close on you, but it'll sag a little bit and it'll lose a little bit of tension. Now once I turn the diesel heater on, because it's off right now, all that stuff would be melting. It would just spring right open and stay open, no problem. But the heater's not on right now. So I got a couple drinks right up here in the refrigerator, as it were. I've got a pot boiled up full of water ready to go. I've got a water bottle in the Jeep. I'm going to fill that up and then bring it up top with me for the night. And yeah, this is kind of the situation right now. The lake is like ice pellet city. Can't walk out of the tree line without getting pelted in the face with all those ice pellets. Pretty crazy. My feet are totally frozen, so giving you guys all the updates right now. So with this camouflage poncho, pretty awesome. Super camouflage. I'm gonna go hide in the trees right now, set you guys up, and I'll edit out the part where I go and hide, obviously, but I'm just gonna go hide and see if you guys can spot me. So hold on one second. All right, so I got the camera set up on the tripod. I'm gonna edit this part out, jump cut, but this is the shot. I'm gonna go hide like not that far, and let me know if you can see me. Oh, you see, you can't see me because I'm right here. How many of you were staring and looking for me? Go back to the fire. Okay, well that was fun. Feels good to sit down, I will say that. Whew. It should be dark. Realistically, not that far out. I'm actually kind of sheltered by the trees, kind of where I'm sitting, but it's going to be dark soon. Looking at the firewood that I have, I'm kind of out of the punky and wet stuff that I had. I'm into like the really dry stuff. And the way this wind is whipping, I bet that wood's probably only going to take about an hour to burn. I don't know, we'll find out. This poncho's doing awesome though, guys. All these ice pellets it's catching, I mean, that stuff was hitting me and melting immediately on my body heat, my jacket. But this is doing really great. And the problem with sitting close to the fire is the heat melts everything that's on you, so you just instantly get wet. Even right now on the poncho, this ice is slowly starting to melt because the heat, well, at least this way it's not soaking into my jacket, getting me even colder and wetter. So I'm going to relax here for a little bit now that I'm actually able to soak in some of this heat. My feet are frozen. I do need to really get those next to the fire. I can feel my socks like squishing in my shoes. And every time I stop, the water in my shoes turns cold because there's no friction to warm it up. I know that sounds horrible, and the truth is, it is. But it's just something I deal with out here filming. I don't notice it until I stop. And then, yeah, it sets in. So it's getting a little bad. But I'm going to relax here for a little bit and then, yeah, make my way up inside the tent with Boomer and crank that diesel heater on. Alright guys, it is basically time to get in the tent. I burned all the firewood. I'm very shocked by that. Tried to dry out my feet. Didn't work, but definitely had little spells of warm feet, but still wet. So this fire is going to do its thing. It's not going anywhere. It's everywhere. It's covered in snow. I'll be able to see it from up inside the tent. And it's about that time to get in. So I just turned the diesel heater on. And I'm concerned with the level of diesel in there. Usually I wouldn't be bothered by this, but my boots are soaked. I mean soaked. And we're already at like almost half a tank, just looking at the line. Usually I like to have a full tank, and I don't have to worry about it. It is on high right now. Once I get in there, I'll probably bump it down to speed 2 and just leave it at speed 2 for the whole night. until I go to sleep. And I think what I'm going to do is I am going to shut it off. My down bag that is up there, that I always keep up there, my down sleeping bag, is still wet. Boomer's been up and down, up and down, up and down, so it's wet. So what I'm going to do is bring a foil foam sleeping pad up top. I'm going to lay on top of that, on top of the wet sleeping bag, so at least the surface that I'm on will have heat reflectivity, and it'll be dry, so it'll keep me really warm. And I'm just basically going to treat this like a cold camping trip. I'm going to ration my diesel fuel because this weather's not letting up. And I really do want heat in the morning. Absolutely. So right now I want heat. I want heat in the morning. I don't need heat when I'm sleeping. I have my minus 29 degrees Celsius down sleeping bag up there. Totally fine. So stand right here just for a moment. Last little bit of fire heat. Soak this in. And then it's going to be up top. So I've got my overalls and this jacket. This jacket is soaked. This needs to be dried out. My parka I'm going to leave inside the Jeep tonight because I want that first thing in the morning when I crawl out. So I'm going to leave that in the Jeep, and it's big and bulky. I don't really want to take up a lot of room upstairs in the tent because this jacket needs to hang. These overalls are going to be up there. My boots need to dry out. I'm gonna have things hung everywhere. Plus I got my canister stove up there for coffee tomorrow morning, and I even brought an electric coffee grinder. I found a coffee grinder at Canadian Tire for like $10 on clearance, and I was like, yep, I'd like to try that for $10. The only reason I bought it is because I have a surplus of coffee beans, whole, not ground, and my hand grinder it works, but it takes a long time. So I figure, you know what, $10 for that, I'll actually be able to use all my coffee beans instead of going out and buying more ground coffee. So realistically, I saved money. But I'm going to bring that up top and grind up a whole bunch of coffee beans tomorrow morning, fresh, and make coffee from inside, get nice and warm before I even step foot outside. So we're going to walk away from the campfire now. My butt's actually a little warm right now. Still have like a quarter of my drink left in here. Diesel heater's just cranking. I do have to open up that door. There's Boomer's head sticking out. I do have to open up the front door right away and bang that snow off. I don't think I can reach it from outside, and I really don't want the snow falling on my head, so yeah, let's just get up there. It's time to get in. I'm frozen. Watch out, Boomer. I gotta get this camera off the tripod. I'm going to be bringing this up with me, always. I like it to get dried out and warm up some of the batteries. I do have a battery. I do have a battery charger. Watch out. And I'm going to plug into the Jackery. And, oh, you're like nice and dry almost. I have a battery charger I'm going to plug into the Jackery. I also need to get a light on because I can't see anything in there. That way I'll charge up all my batteries, so first thing in the morning I'll be fresh, ready to go. And yeah, we'll see what the weather looks like. But I gotta put you guys down and I gotta crawl up here. Alright, so just crawling in. I got these factory lights turned on, but we definitely need more light. So this, I usually hang up on one of these toggles here. I think right now I'm actually going to put it on a zipper. So the tent walls right now are kind of loose and saggy, like massively down here in the corner. You guys can see that? Because, watch this, when I push up on the roof, watch that wall, nice and tight. So that out there is sagging, but I gotta hang this light first, and then I'll be able to unzip this panel, reach out, and bang that off. I just have to get these zippers all the way up vertical, and then I can hang the light just like that. Give you guys a look here. So Boomer kind of in the way, and so is all my stuff. I got everything jammed in here. I don't know where the zipper is. What a mess. Okay, here we go. So unzip that. Reaching outside right now. Oh, that made a huge difference. It just sprung right up. Okay, cool. All right, so just banged off that awning, nice and straight now. You guys can see all the tracks to the Jeep driving in here today are totally gone. Yeah, we'll close that up because that cold air is blowing in. I don't like it anymore. Done for the day. So I've got to get my boots off, get all my clothing off, get everything put away. That really sprung up really nicely. So my feet are freezing. Time to get warm and dry. Oh, so this is tucked in the corner. My Yeti's totally encapsulated in snow. Oh no. It's all over the corner of the sleeping bag. Okay. Quickly break that snow off the bottom of the Yeti. Outside. Grab this snowball. Oh yeah, no, there is quite a bit actually. A little bit of a wet spot. So, zip that up first of all. I have my overalls over here in this corner because there is another wet spot over here. Boomer was laying here when he had his jacket on earlier, and there's a bunch of snow still here that hasn't had a chance to melt, which is good. I can grab it now. But it is wet and it's farthest away from the diesel heater, so it's not likely going to dry tonight. So what I'm going to do, I could spin the sleeping bag around and dry it really easily actually. I just don't want to be bothered with moving things around and whatnot. I'm just too worn out. So this I'm going to put on top of that. Quick fix, right? And my waterproof overalls. Fold these up nicely. These, I don't know what fabric this is, by the way, guys. These are from Mountain Hardware. The reason why I'm mentioning this, these have never been wet. I don't know what they've done to the fabric, what kind of treatment or what's going on here. They have never, ever been wet. Even today, my down jacket was soaked. I was kneeling in the snow in these. These do not get wet. I don't know how. They are insulated. It's very thin and I don't know what they did. If I could get all of my clothing like this, I would, because I do not understand how this stuff does not get wet. Like, it's dry. I could literally go out in the rain and they're dry. I don't know how it works, but I'm happy with it. So these are absolutely dry. I'm going to put these on top of that sit pad. That wet spot is contained. So I really like that to rebound a little bit more. I think I might have to slide those actuators back just to give it a little bit more oomph, because I did bang the snow. Oh, the roof is full of ice. That's what it is. There's a bunch of ice on the roof and it hasn't slid off yet like it did this afternoon. It takes quite a while. So that's what it is. There's snow up there. Alright, well, it can stay up there for a while. I think that's the first time I've ever yawned on camera. That was a moment between you and I. That means I'm tired. So, a lot of work today. That snow out there on the lake is deep. Driving out here, stopping, flying the drone, doing a little bit of back and forth here and there. Doesn't take long to get wore out. Not wore out, tired out. Wore out sounds like tired of doing this. I'm not tired of doing this. I'll never be tired of doing this. Especially when I got rice crackers. And beef jerky. No, it really does take a toll though. I've been asked before, do I find it harder in the summer or the winter And move the string out of the way. I don't know if that's in the camera. Is it harder in the winter or the summer? I personally say it's harder in the summer. Bugs, heat. I cannot stand being hot. At least in the wintertime when it gets cold, I can add layers, I can get warm. At least in the wintertime when I'm wet, I can get change. I've had 3 or 4 changes of clothes here all day. And not once did I change a pair of socks or a pair of pants or, I just wait till this time of day, crawl in, get nice and comfortable. This is my reward at the end of the day. So summertime, you can't get away from that. The heat's always there day and night. The bugs, ticks and mosquitoes, black flies. Yeah, and then a lot of people are out. It's just noisy. It's really difficult. So me personally, freezing rain again. Me personally, summertime's more difficult. More people than I'd say most people say wintertime's harder. At least the people that I've met and spoke to. But once they try winter camping, they actually kind of flip and they say, you know what? Winter's actually easy when you get used to it and you have the gear and a good schedule and stuff like that. So, yeah. I'm wore out. I'm tired. There's good. Did I get you? Didn't get Boomer. He's already asleep. So, I'm going to shut the camera off. I'm going to dim down some of these lights and pop a movie on that I got saved on my phone. I do have another brew. I brought a porter, or an Irish stout, sorry. I'm going to crack into that in a moment. I haven't even finished my first one. It's like 2 inches still left in that can, going on like 4 hours now. So the bonus with the Yeti, it won't freeze outside in the cold, and now that I'm in the warm, it'll keep it cold. So dual protection. Alright guys, that's enough. I'm going to shut the camera off and I'm going to sleep unless something crazy happens throughout the night. I will see you tomorrow. Okay guys, just waking up, brewing coffee, got hot cup of coffee on top of the battery. Everything went really well last night except for the part where I was supposed to sleep. That did not happen. It's almost 11 o'clock, or it is 11 o'clock right now actually. Almost noon, almost lunchtime, and I'm just waking up to make coffee. The wall of the tent. Still a massive windstorm out there. The lake is like a whiteout. It is currently snowing, plus all of the light snowflakes and ice flakes being pushed by the wind. It's like a whiteout out there. Slamming into the tent. Every time I crack the door to even look out, snow flies inside. So we're not doing that, even though that's probably the 5th time I've done that. So that's the door I have to exit. I can't exit this way because the awning's there and it's just not designed to exit that way.
I could exit off the back, but it's really not going to matter. The wind's still coming over there. This is the non-wind side. So I'm just going to have to tough it out like I always do. I'm either going to throw on my down pants or my overalls. I haven't really decided yet. The down sleeping bag last night, like I was totally warm last night with no heater on. I shut the diesel heater off to save the fuel so I can use it right now. It's so loud and windy right now, I can't hear the diesel heater fuel pump clicking. And that's how I gauge what speed it's on. I can feel the hot air and I can look down at the battery and see how many watts it's outputting and guess what speed it's on, but I really don't know. I want it on max. And I've got the pipe elevated, if you guys can see what I did here. I took my down balaclava bag and the little bungee cord and jammed that into the pocket and then just suspended the pipe by the elastic. This way I can kind of angle it where I want to, and it's actually blowing up at me versus down on the ground. So that's a hack. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that pipe so it just comes in the tent by like 6 to 8 inches, and then I'm going to take 2 more pieces of pipe and install them on a T, so like a splitter, and put the splitter down there, and I'm going to elevate one pipe just like this off to the side of the wall, like way up here, with the little spinny head that directs the airflow, so I can spin it and direct it down or over or up or wherever. And then I'm going to leave one down at the foot end of the tent, blowing hot air, so that way it gets a full circulation of air, because this one pipe just isn't doing it. The tent's very tall, so the heat does rise. Right now I'm sitting up, it's nice and warm. It's crazy windy, guys. I mean crazy windy. But there's no heat down below, especially in conditions like this. Like I could feel that bitter cold wind coming through the zipper. Horrible. To be 1,000,000% honest, I could be on the ground right now with one of my hiking hot tents with a wood stove. I would be way warmer from my heat source than I am right now up in this tent with a diesel heater pumping nonstop. That's not a joke. So, and this is an 8 kilowatt diesel heater from Vevor. It makes this tent hot, it does work, but I'm telling you, wood stove, you can't beat that. So, as you guys can tell, my coffee, it looks like Jurassic Park in here. That is not from me moving, that is from the wind. My keys are just jingling. The light's going for a ride. I mean, even the zipper pulls, like, it's crazy windy. So I'm going to enjoy my coffee, get dressed, and get out of here. You ready to see what outside looks like? You look a little hesitant there. Yeah, you got your jacket on. Honestly, I don't think that's going to help today. So this is the majority of the stuff that needs to come out of the tent. I did place all of my very expensive batteries inside of this boot. So this boot is very heavy right now. All my DSLR batteries, things I don't want to get wet, I've just cinched inside of the boot. I am finishing my coffee. Once that's done, I'll be able to pack everything inside their respective bags. And then it's going to be time to get out. So I've got one boot on right now. Grab the other one, throw that on, and it's time to do the deed. All right, guys. Well, just about ready to jump out. I do have my down jacket here I'm going to throw on, because I am going to be crawling around the Jeep in and out of the tent. I've got a load of stuff to get out of here. Boomer's going to have to stay up here for a minute while I get out and configure the Jeep to get some stuff thrown in there. So you stay up here, dry. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. So bring you guys with me. Oh, it's going to be horrible. Watch out, Boomer. Well, at least it's sunny out there. Crawling out. Doing the old backwards crawl here.
Oh yeah. Hoo, 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 hoo. Holy. All right, watch out, Boomer. Boomer's face is blowing like Gandalf in the wind. Watch out, back up, back up. Freezing cold out right now. Holy, that wind coming off the lake is not pleasant. Ooh, let's get on the other side for a minute. Out of the wind briefly. So the diesel heater is still pumping out heat. Oh man, it is crazy windy. The worst part is I gotta go pee. And that's gonna happen right here. So, I mean, there is a rockaway in the woods, but I'm not going that far. So I've got to do this very, very, very quickly. Not the pee part, but the whole, let's open this. The whole pack up process, I've got to do this really quickly. Oh man. Can't even breathe. Okay. I gotta do this really quickly. I gotta get everything out of the tent because all the snow is gonna go in. It's gonna be crazy. Packing it up is gonna be a nightmare. Oh man. Yeah, alright. Let me put you guys down for a minute. Holy. So, behind the scenes, right? The wind's blowing so hard that I need to tie out the tail. I can't even talk, the wind's going like down my throat. I've got to tie out the tailgate because the wind's slamming it shut. So I got a rope on the handle that I'm going to do that with. You guys just hang out for a second. Okay, I can feel my face actually freezing. That wind chill has got to be like minus 25, minus 30. That is not a joke, nothing to mess around with. So today's pack up is going to be a horrendous, horrendous mess. It's the only way that I could do it safely, getting out of here without freezing my face, causing any issues for Boomer. It's just gonna have to be chuck it in and get out of here, unfortunately. Let me go to the passenger door. Oh, I've been so strong. My chair, by the way, has been here the entire night, strapped to the ladder. Ugh, holy! Look at how strong the wind was. It blew snow inside of the Jeep. Oh man. Alright, Steven, let's go. Come on. Time to get up. Holy. Alright, I set this guy up with the real camera and film a little bit and then pack up. like it's going to be windy today. Okay. My face feels like it just got pelted with a ton of ice, and that's because it did. But it doesn't feel good. So, I'm awake. I'm feeling it now. Get my phone plugged in. Yeah, so parka absolutely did what it's supposed to do. Mitts and gloves did what they're supposed to do. I went through 2 pairs of gloves packing that stuff up. Holy. Oh, wow. The inside of the Jeep looks like the outside right now, covered in snow. Those winds are ridiculous. Ridiculous. All the footsteps out on the lake from yesterday, gone. It's like up to my waist in snowbanks. I walked out there for a second and I was like, nope, not doing that today. So, let this Jeep warm up for a second, and I don't even know if the windows are frozen. I don't want to force that. Snow's everywhere. Back outside to clean off the window. 1 second. That is a massive, massive wind. I've camped in a hurricane before in a hammock, direct hit hurricane, a massive hurricane actually. I have the video on Lone Wolf 902, my other channel, and I can tell you, this is exactly what it would feel like with snow, other than salt water splashing me in the face and seaweed hitting me in the head from the ocean. Yeah, so let's get out of here. All right, guys, I think we're warm enough to put this thing in reverse. Of course, I don't have a mirror to see because the whole back of the Jeep is, well, full of gear. So I'm using my one window right now with an available mirror to back out of this. Oh man, it's a little tight getting out of here too. All right, there we go. Oh man. There's like all these snow drifts that we got to drive through right now. Oh, that's cool. Those are pretty big drifts too, actually. 4-wheel drive. Let's just push through. But before we do, I think it'll look better from a different view, so I gotta go outside and put the camera on the Jeep. Oh. Hood on. A little sheltered from these pine trees directly where I am actually, so let's try to do this quick. Oh. Okay. Hey guys, we're gonna be sideways and flipping and flopping a little bit, but this is part of the behind the scenes. So, get you guys set up here by the light bar. All right, let's go. Okay, so it's not a very far drive back in there, but I can tell you right now, it is a different world. It's not windy at all. No joke, we drove like maybe 100 yards. And the trees right here are barely moving. It's sunny. It looks like a nice winter day. Hilarious. So that's our view right now, just pulling out of this spot. Sunny. These roads are crazy icy though because all the freezing rain. But yeah, you guys can see it's a nice sunny day over here. And holy icy. Okay, these roads are like solid frozen sugar snow. Wow. Alright. We'll traverse this rather slow. It actually looks like somebody drove out here early this morning. There's fresh tire tracks on top of the ice, a little bit of blowing snow. Wow, that is crazy, crazy slippery. Holy. Alright, well, this is going to be a very slow and calculated drive out of here. Make sure that we don't end up in the ditch and turn this into a recovery mission, which is, you know, kind of fun, but it's freezing cold and I'd like to get somewhere where I can actually clean out the Jeep and all this camping gear. Alright, so looking at these tire tracks here, some of it's broken up through the crust of ice. It's very, very evident that somebody was, in fact, out here. I don't know how long ago, but judging by the blowing snow in this area, probably within an hour, maybe 2 hours ago. Of course, you would never know. Somebody drove by back where I was. Can't hear anything. Crazy windy. Absolutely worth it though. My face feels like I just got hit with a belt sander. So, absolutely worth it. That was an incredible experience. And a good test of the gear too. Very good test of the gear. Diesel heater held up really well. And that's the reason, so I will mention the reason why I parked with the entrance of the tent towards the open wind of the lake was actually on purpose, because one, I knew the snow was going to blow inside the tent or the wind or whatever the weather was going to be, but I wanted to protect the diesel heater. So the diesel heater was on the non-wind side on purpose to protect it, to make sure that it ran no problem. And that's exactly what it did. It ran no problem. It kept us nice and warm, and sacrificed a little bit of comfort or a little bit of accessibility in and out of the tent for reliability of heat source. In my books, I made the right decision. So I'm going to drive out of here and get somewhere where I can clean this Jeep out. It's a mess. And I hope you guys enjoy the behind the scenes. Be sure to check out the cinematic part to this on my other channel, link in the description. And until next time, peace out guys. I'll see you in the next one.